Picture this. You lower yourself into your favorite chair. It's the same chair you've sat in for years, the one by the window or maybe the one facing the television. You shift a little, lean back, let your shoulders round and settle in. You tell yourself, I'm just resting. An hour passes, then two. Now here's the unsettling part. Researchers have found that older adults who spend more than 6 to 8 hours a day sitting have up to a 50% higher risk of dying earlier than their more active peers, regardless of weight, diet, or even whether they smoke. That's not just one study. Large reviews covering hundreds of thousands of people consistently show the same trend. The more time spent in that chair, the steeper the decline in health and longevity. But before we jump ahead, let's pause. Because the problem isn't just the hours in the chair. It's something smaller, subtler. Something almost invisible, but powerful enough to shave years off your life if you ignore it. Have you ever wondered why two people of the same age can look so different? One stays mobile, breathing deeply, walking tall, while the other struggles with energy, balance, and constant aches. Genetics plays a role, sure, but daily habits, especially the way you sit, often make the difference. Does that sound familiar to you? Stay with me. In the next part, I'll walk you into the real everyday struggles many seniors quietly face: fatigue, digestion problems, joint stiffness, the things you might even be living with right now. And you'll see how all of them tie back to one habit that seems harmless, until it isn't. Think about your own days for a moment. Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt your back tighten like something was pulling you down? Or maybe after sitting through a TV program, your legs felt heavy, almost like concrete blocks? You're not imagining it. Studies show that after just 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting, blood flow in the legs slows, muscles begin to stiffen, and insulin, the hormone that keeps blood sugar steady, becomes less effective. For someone over 60, those small changes add up quickly. Over time, they make fatigue worse, digestion slower, and balance shakier. And let's not forget energy. Many of my patients tell me, "Doctor, I eat well, I sleep enough, but I still wake up tired." Often it's not just age, it's circulation and posture. Sitting in certain ways compresses the chest and abdomen, reducing lung capacity by as much as 10 to 15% in older adults. Imagine your lungs like balloons. Now imagine trying to inflate them while someone is pressing down on them. That's what a slouched posture does every single day. Sound familiar? And then there's digestion. When you sit with your stomach compressed, food doesn't move as smoothly through your system. That leads to bloating, gas, even reflux. In fact, research from digestive health studies has shown that people who habitually slouch after meals have a significantly higher risk of acid reflux and delayed gastric emptying. So, if you've noticed you get full quicker or uncomfortable more often after eating, you're not alone. Does that sound like you? And here's the part that truly worries me. When fatigue, poor digestion, and joint stiffness pile up together, they quietly steal independence. A person stops walking as far, stops going out as often. The world shrinks, and with it, so does longevity. That's why I care so deeply about this, and maybe now's the right time to tell you who I am, and why I've spent more than 30 years trying to protect seniors from exactly these hidden dangers. Let me introduce myself properly. My name is Dr. Jonathan Miller. I've been a geriatric specialist for more than 30 years. That means 3 decades sitting across from men and women in their 60s, 70s, 80s, sometimes even 90s, listening to their concerns, studying their lab results, watching how they walk, how they breathe, and yes, even how they sit. Why geriatrics? Because I learned early in my career that the smallest adjustments can make the biggest difference in an older adult's life. I've seen medication help, sure, but more often it's the daily habits, posture, food choices, the way someone stands up from a chair that determine whether they stay strong and independent or slip into decline. One memory stays with me. In my first year of practice, I visited a man in his late 70s who had just been discharged from the hospital after a fall. He said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, I don't fear dying. I fear losing myself, not being able to live my life the way I want." That shaped my entire career. From then on, my focus wasn't just on adding years to life, but life to years. And let me be clear, I'm not here to lecture. I'm here because I've seen too many good people lose quality of life, not from rare diseases, but from everyday habits that sneak up quietly. Which brings me to a patient I worked with recently. Her story may sound a lot like yours, or someone you love, and it all started with something as ordinary as the way she sat down. Let me tell you about Eleanor. Eleanor is 71. She spent her career as a school teacher, standing in front of classrooms, reading stories aloud, and guiding children through their lessons. She has 3 grandchildren now, and all she wanted was the energy to keep up with them. But when I met her, Eleanor felt defeated. She told me, "Doctor, I wake up already tired. My shoulders ache. I can't finish a short walk without needing to sit down, and after meals, my stomach feels so tight I just want to lie back in my chair." She wasn't careless about her health. She tried gentle yoga videos online, she switched to herbal teas, she even avoided fried foods because she thought that would solve the problem. But still, her strength slipped away month by month. She began declining invitations from friends. She let her garden go unattended. She said, "It feels like my world is shrinking." And here's what struck me. Every appointment, Eleanor sat the same way. Hunched forward, shoulders rounded, abdomen pressed in. To her, it felt comfortable. To me, it was a red flag. That posture was quietly sabotaging her lungs, her digestion, even her circulation. Have you or someone close to you ever experienced something similar? I won't reveal the full explanation just yet, but when Eleanor and I discovered the hidden link between her sitting habits and her health struggles, everything began to make sense. And once she changed one small detail, the results were more powerful than either of us expected. Thank you for staying with me this far. It shows how much you care about your health, and I deeply respect that. So let's uncover what Eleanor and I discovered. The truth is this: the way you sit after 60 can literally shave years off your life. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But it's not just my opinion. Research backs it up. A 2018 study from the American Journal of Epidemiology followed over 120,000 adults. They found that people who sat for more than 6 hours a day had a 19% higher risk of early death compared to those who sat less than 3 hours. And among adults over 65, the risk was even steeper, nearly 30% higher. Why? Let me explain in simple terms. Think of your body like a garden hose. When you sit slouched forward, that hose gets kinked. Blood flow slows, oxygen delivery weakens, muscles starve, and just like a hose left bent too long, damage builds up quietly until something bursts, whether it's your heart, your joints, or even your memory. Eleanor's posture was crushing her lungs and stomach. When you sit hunched, your lungs can't fully expand. That means less oxygen in your blood. Studies from the Journal of Gerontology show that oxygen flow directly affects memory and brain sharpness. In fact, seniors with restricted breathing had up to 23% lower cognitive scores. Imagine that. Simply the way you sit can cloud your thinking. And digestion? Sitting slouched after a meal compresses your intestines. Food lingers longer, causing gas, bloating, and acid reflux. Eleanor thought her meals were the problem, but it was her posture strangling her digestion. Now, here's where things turn around. We worked on small, practical changes. Sit tall, feet flat on the floor. Picture yourself as a tree, spine straight, roots planted. Keep your shoulders relaxed but open. Limit uninterrupted sitting. Studies show standing up every 30 minutes lowers blood sugar spikes by 34% in seniors. So we set a timer for Eleanor. Stand, stretch, or walk to the kitchen every half hour. Support your lower back. A simple cushion or rolled towel maintains the natural curve of your spine. Eleanor started using a pillow at her dining chair, and it changed her comfort overnight. Avoid reclining right after meals. Instead, sit upright or take a slow 10-minute walk. This helps digestion move smoothly, reducing reflux by up to 40%, according to a 2020 gastrointestinal study. Now I want to bring you into this conversation. Which of these adjustments feels most doable for you? Could you start with just one today? And here's my challenge for you. Make a promise to yourself right now. Say, "I will no longer let my chair steal years from me." If you feel brave, write it in the comments. That public commitment could be the first step toward keeping it. Eleanor made that promise, and what happened next still inspires me. Let's take a moment to pull the pieces together. We've seen how something as ordinary as the way you sit can quietly harm your body. Slouching squeezes your lungs, clouds your memory, slows your digestion, and weakens circulation. Long hours in a chair raise your risk of heart problems, diabetes, even early death. But the opposite is also true. Small, intentional changes in posture and movement can restore energy, sharpen thinking, and protect your years. Eleanor is living proof. Within weeks of sitting taller, standing more often, and walking after meals, her life began to shift. She told me, "Doctor, I can breathe deeper now. I don't feel as heavy after I eat. I even started gardening again, just 15 minutes at first, but it feels wonderful." Her shoulders softened, her energy returned, and the light in her eyes, that spark I'd first seen in her teaching days, came back. Eleanor didn't overhaul her entire lifestyle. She only kept one promise to herself: to never again let her chair be the boss of her body. And here's the truth, my friend. If Eleanor could do it at 71, so can you. So I want to ask you directly, after listening to today's message, are you ready to commit to even one small change in how you sit, how you move, or how you care for your body? Let me know in the comments. Sometimes the simple act of writing it down is the strongest way to begin. Remember, change doesn't start with giant leaps. It starts with a single choice, one adjustment, one promise. And that's enough to open the door to better days ahead. Before we finish, I want to hear from you. What has been your biggest challenge? Is it sitting too long, trouble with digestion, or feeling your energy slip away? Share your story in the comments. I read them and I learn from everyone. And if you found this conversation helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. That way, you won't miss my next video where I'll share another tip that could add healthy, vibrant years to your life. You never know. One small piece of advice might be the key that changes everything. This is Dr. Jonathan Miller. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, sit tall, and remember, your best years can still be ahead. Until next time, be well.